Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to another one of my videos where I give you the opportunity to test your comic book grading skills up against actual results from CGC. Oh man, I'm really super excited about this video. Just today, I got back 25 books from CGC. Inside this box are 25 modern submission books that are all X-Men themed. And even though it's modern, some of these books go all the way back to 1970s. So there's some really tasty books inside this package. Now, just so you know, I sent away the submission of these books back in May of 2021. And I'm recording this video today at the very end of July 2022. It took about a year and 4 months for these books to get pressed at CGC, graded, and sent back to me. So I'm sure you can imagine that I am very excited to dig into this box. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to break up this submission probably into about 8 different videos. Most of them will have 3 books per video. One of the videos will have 4 books. And what I like to do in these videos is I first show you video that I took of these books when they were raw, before I sent them out to CGC. We're all gonna look at the video that I took and we're gonna assess it for any kind of flaws, any kind of damage, anything that might impact the grade negatively. Then we're going to give our best guess as to what we think the grade might be. Then once we have that guess in our mind, we are going to dig into the box and pull out the freshly graded book from CGC. We will take a look at what grade CGC actually gave the book and compare it up against our guesses. See how we did. If the book is way off from my guess as to what I thought the grade would be, we'll do a little bit of a post-grading analysis. See if we can't work backwards to figure out what CGC was thinking. All right, I think that gives you all the information you need. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first 3 books that we are going to be pulling out of this box when they were raw and assess them right now. All right, first up we have Wolverine issue number 1. This is a very, very nice copy of this book and absolutely a potential 9/8 candidate, but we'll get more into that in just a moment. Now, what I like to do for those of you who haven't seen my videos before is I like to take my books into areas that have some decent overhead lighting and bounce that light right off the top of the book. That will help show any kind of flaws that are sometimes hard to see with the naked eye, flaws like creases. But looking at this book right now, I don't see much by any way of any problems. There might be a little bit something along the edge there between the M and the A along the very edge of the book, but it's so minor. I actually think it's a printing thing. I don't think it's a flaw, and I think it'll be okay. Now, in addition, this book and all the books in this submission will get pressed whether they seem to need it or not. The only submissions to CGC that I don't press are 9/8 pre-screens that I have chosen very carefully. In general, I press almost everything because I consider it grade insurance. I want to ensure that it gets the best grade it possibly can. Now, there are some white dots there in the black. I don't think those are flaws or color rub. I think that that's just the way it was printed. What is a potential flaw is that corner right there. There appears to be some kind of color-breaking crease right there. It's the only flaw I can see on this book, and it is such a shame that it is there, because other than that little area, this book looks fantastic. I almost wish that they would let that flaw slide because it's so small, but I don't think they will. I don't think it's going to get the 9.8. I think it'll get a 9.6.
Next up, we have X-Men 107. This is another nice book, much older than the first, but it presents really, really well. But as you zoom in here, you will see there are definite flaws. Now, that white edge there is due to a miswrap. The miswrap will not hurt the grade. In fact, in a weird way, it might even help it because it's helping obscure the significance of color-breaking spine ticks along the spine. That being said, you can absolutely still tell that there are spine ticks on this spine. So it is not a 9.8. It's not a 9.6, I think, based off of the damage that I have already seen. Pressing will help, but won't disappear those things. Now, there's a bit of a flaw right there in the upper right-hand corner. I even went and double-checked artwork on other copies, and I didn't see that there. So I have to think that that's some kind of flaw in the corner. That bottom right-hand corner looks a little rounded. I would think it should be sharper. So I think that might be blunted and might impact the grade negatively there as well. But once again, this is a really good presenting book. Looks really nice. On the back here, let's see what we've got. It does not look perfect. Maybe that's going to clean up. I actually think that CCS is going to be able to clean up a lot of that. I think that that's dirt and dust all along the edge. Now, I don't know if they're going to disappear it, but I do think they can help it. See that corner? That corner looks damaged more than it should be as well. A lot of those markings in there, I bet you CCS will be able to clean up all in that white section. But all in all, even with CCS cleaning that up, I have to think this book is probably going to get a 9.0. And finally, we have the Uncanny X-Men 282. This is another book that is like the Wolverine one, a little more recent. This is one that I actually bought myself off the rack when I was a kid. So I have owned this book since the day it came out. And it looks like I took pretty good care of it. So far, I don't see any reason to think that this book won't get a 9.8. Now, that looks in the red right there. And you see right there? Okay, there looks to be a small color-breaking spine tick in the red right there next to the L in Marvel. The little copyright version of Marvel, that is. I am very hesitant to give out 9.8 grades to books that have any form of noticeable flaws, and that looks like it could be a very small yet present flaw. So right now I am going to say that this book is a 9.6, but let's take a look at the back. That corner looks good, and the black section of this ad looks good. So far so good. Looks like there's a little, it looked like almost like a fiber, of clothing or something there. But that's not what that was. And I think that that's just a flaw of sorts in the printing that won't necessarily hurt the grade. But the rest of this book looks really good. The back of this ad looks really good. Looks like there's a little bit of a color-breaking spine tick right there. Yep. The press will help that a lot, but it does look like there's a little something there. Man, I think I saw 2 tiny little flaws. I still think this book will get a 9.6.
All right, so you've had your opportunity to assess the first 3 books that will be coming out of this submission when they were raw. You've given your best guess as to what you think the grade might be. I've shared with you what I think the grade might be. In fact, I wrote down all of those grades on this piece of paper right here over a year ago, so I'm going to keep this one handy. And now we are going to do the exciting part. We are going to pull those books out of this box, and we are going to see what grade we got from CGC. I am very, very excited about this. Now, you know what 3 books are going to be coming out of here first, but I don't. Obviously, that's a little bit of a trick of editing. I'm going to be pulling out the first 3 books that I can feel on one side, and we're just going to be going through them. But of course, I had to show you what the books look like raw, so you're a little bit ahead of me right now. I'm really excited about this submission. There are some really exciting books in here and some fun little treats. So I cannot wait. And I mean, I've had to wait over a year for these books to come back. So really tested my patience. All right, so I like to assess how CGC did with packing. They did a good job. You know what? Usually they put a piece of like cardboard, whoa, on top of here to protect the top, but this time they did bubble wrap. That's unusual. I don't know why they did it that way, but it still protects the top, and the cardboard is still along the edges. So, I mean, if it works, it works, but I wonder why they did something so different for this one. Okay, so I don't want to see the grades of any of these books until I reveal them. So I'm going to leave this bubble wrap on top, and I'm going to carefully try to pull out the first one of these books without taking a look at the grade. Of course, working out of my peripheral makes it a little bit funky, but we're going to do our best. Okay, and I know what the back of the book is by feel, so I can cover up the grade. And let's see what we got here first. Oh, we're starting with this one. Oh my gosh, this is my Wolverine issue number 1. Okay, so before I show you the grade from this, I have a little special treat regarding this book. I have to put it down. And that is that this book was purchased by me as a PGX 9.8. What happened is I got a really good deal on it, and then I received the book, and the holder was totally open. It was totally cracked open. And I contacted the seller, and the seller was like, oh, I'm really sorry about that. I was expecting some kind of discount, because at that point it was kind of like getting a raw book. The seller completely refunded my purchase and told me to keep the book. So I was really super excited about that. So I got this book for free, and it was a PGX 9.8, but I wanted to get it into a CGC, and also, once again, the holder was open. So I'm really interested in seeing if there's any grade change between the PGX 9.8 it received and what it got from CGC. Now, I thought that this book would be a 9.6. And maybe there was something about it that I thought might be a flaw that might hurt the grade. I want to remind you all that all of these books have been pressed at CCS, so that is not a factor in that. Okay, I just got to show you the grade. I got to show you the grade. Oh my gosh. I really hope it's a 9.8. If it's a 9.6, I'll be okay, but I really hope it's a 9.8. Okay, so it got the 9.6 that I expected. So that's fine. Boy, this is a really great book in a 9.8, but a 9.6 is fine. Once again, I got this book for free. And so this is my, it only cost me how much it costs to press it and grade it. So a little bit disappointing because I was really hoping this would be a 9.8, but a 9.6 is matching my expectations, so I can't be too mad about that. Okay, that's cool. Okay, one down. I nailed the grade on that. Let's see what the next book is. I have to be, once again, careful. Okay, that's the back. Pull it out of its bag. Cover up the grade. See what the book is. This next book is X-Men. This is one thing that's really interesting about CGC. They demand that you send them the books in the order that you submitted them, but when they send them back to you, they kind of put them in any order that they feel like. So I'm very surprised to see that the next book coming out of here is X-Men 107. This is the first appearance of the Starjammers. This is really cool. Oh, by the way, all of these books are getting special labels because they're all X-Men or Wolverine themed. So let me find this on my list here. X-Men 107. It looks like I thought it would get a 9.0. Yes, a 9.0. Let's go ahead and show you what grade it did get. Okay, and now let me look at the grade myself. A 9. That's awesome and so surprising. That is significantly better than what I thought. I haven't looked at the raw video that you watched already in this video the video that you watched of this book in the raw. I haven't watched that. I haven't looked at that in over a year. So I'm going to go back and take a good look at that. But wow, this is really cool that I got this in a 9.6 because I already have this book in a 9.4. So now I just upgraded this book. And this is a great book to have. I have a feeling that someday we'll see the Starjammers in the MCU. Wow, very, very cool. Not a great wrap, but 9.6. Wow. Well, I won't be doing any post-grading kind of analysis on that. I'll allow you to go back and look at the raw footage and see why I thought I was so far off. Let me just make sure that I didn't. It's 1, 2, 3, 4th down. 1, 2, 3, 4th down. Yeah. I wrote down 9.0. So it goes. You can't be too upset about being that wrong in that direction. And also, I got to tell you, I've learned a lot about grading in the past year plus since I sent these out. So if I had to do it over again, it's possible I'd do a better job. And I'm also a little bit hard. I was always hard on my grading, always tough, because I wanted to be surprised, or if I was going to be wrong, I wanted to be wrong to guess lower than the actual grade. So I've kind of loosened that up a little bit since. But let's go ahead and keep moving forward. Oh, geez. I just bought a raw one of these today. This is X-Men 282. This is the first appearance of Bishop. Wow, there's some really cool books in here today. Now let me see. This is because this is in an odd order. It's a little bit tricky for me to find these. It looks like I think that I got a 9.6 on this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a ruler to double check this next time. But I think I said that this would be a 9.6. So let's go ahead and show you what the grade is. And now let me see what I got. A 9.6. Okay, so I got exactly what I expected from that. That's great. It's always good to get what you expect. It's nice to get surprises like that 107, which is definitely the most valuable. Well, maybe not. That I'll have to double check the value of that Wolverine one. But this is a great book to have in a 9.6. It's exactly what I expected. Oh, and one thing I'll notice here that I'll mention, CGC said that from now on they were going to start doing graders notes for free. You don't even have to have a membership with CGC. You have to have free membership maybe. But you can now access graders notes for free. And along the way of helping that, they've now added QR codes to the back of the labels here. This is the first submission that I've received that actually have these QR codes. So it's nice to see them implement that quickly. All right, got a 9.6 in this. That's really great. I'm happy about that. I actually really think that Bishop is going to be seen in the MCU. So I think the Starjammers will be seen. I think that Bishop will be seen, and we all know Wolverine's going to be seen in the MCU. So these were 3 really great books to have. Wow, this has been an exciting start to this series for me. If you're interested in seeing more of what's to come out of this box, and I guarantee you there's so many great goodies that are going to be coming out of this box, I highly recommend you subscribe so you don't miss any of the videos that are going to be coming out in the series pertaining to this submission. If you also like this type of content, likes are appreciated by me, so hit that like button. As always, thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.